Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride. A couple of things. A positive here. Throughout this week, in the back of my mind, I've been thinking a lot about Jalen Hurts' last words to the media after the Giants game, before the Halloween party pictures came out, and certainly before one of the latest lists came out involving where Jalen Hurts ranks among quarterbacks in the NFL. This latest one came from Dan Orlovsky on ESPN yesterday. And as I always say, I respect my friend Dan and his opinion and all that stuff. And I've realized something, and I had to apply it to this line of thinking with this new list out here. I had to think after Justin Herbert was still ranked above Jalen Hurts after a Super Bowl MVP was added next to the name of Jalen Hurts. I think I finally cracked the code on what these lists are from people, and they're basically people that they'd want to coach a camp. They're basically people that fit this kind of mold of quarterback that a lot of people look at and say, that's right there, a good quarterback. And for whatever reason, what Jalen Hurts does, which is just constantly win, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the people making the list, when in reality, what Jalen Hurts does is what matters most. So I appreciate the fact that Jalen Hurts isn't looking to be on some list with inflated numbers. He's looking to be efficient. He's looking to not turn the football over, and he's looking to win a football game, not throw for 300 yards. A perfect passer rating, a 4-touchdown game, apparently has not put Jalen Hurts in the category of a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now, according to Dan Orlovsky. We'll get to that list. Also, what the second half of the season will bear with, we've mentioned it before, but coming out against the Packers, coming out against the Lions. Those are going to be your first 2 games, one at Green Bay, one, of course, in South Philadelphia. We'll get into what we can expect from the Eagles and all that, and expect from Jalen Hurts and all that as well. There has been building conversation in Philadelphia about trading stars. In baseball, with the fallout of Dave Dombrowski's comments, which he didn't think were all that big a deal. And you know what? You listen to it again, and you're like, he's just being honest. Nothing he said was wrong. Where he went wrong is talking about a baseball player he's paying to be elite, or at least the Phillies are paying to be elite. John Middleton and company are paying to be elite, and he was not elite. And then he went ahead and compared him to another star in Freddie Freeman, who is not really playing at an elite level yet. Still, 25 home runs, 297 batting average, also a former MVP, but a 2-time World Series champion. If the Dodgers can rally, not that I'm rooting for it, maybe a 3-time World Series champion. I wouldn't go and compare him to Freddie Freeman right now. I would talk about, you know what? I'm sure Bryce will be the first to tell you he didn't have a great year, but we're confident he's going to bounce back. That's the end. If I'm Dave Dombrowski, that's probably what I'm saying. But now Bryce Harper's upset. Bryce Harper's heard trade conversation about him and all that. And then the other star that people are talking about, and I'll tell you how I feel about both these guys, but the other star people are talking about is Joel Embiid, because they're seeing this brand of basketball right now for the Sixers. And I did a hit with CBS 3 yesterday, and they asked me about whether or not this is for real, whether or not the Sixers are for real. The Sixers are for real. This is a great brand of basketball they're getting. There's no other brand of basketball that this Sixers team, as currently constructed, as currently healthy, the status of their health, there's no other brand that they could play. This is great. And I don't want them to play another brand of basketball. I love what they're doing right now. I love their style. I love up-tempo and all that. I woke up to a text message from a buddy of mine just be like, the Flash Brothers? Gotta say, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Flash Brothers? I might be in. But that makes people think about the future and whether or not Joel Embiid is going to be holding this team back. I'm going to tell you how I feel about both of these. If Joel Embiid does not play better than what we've seen. Now, I know you look at the stat sheet and you go, 25 points in 23 minutes. That's really good. A +9? All right. Yeah, that's good. The best number on there, though, for me, is the 5 assists. This guy's career high is like 5.6 assists he averaged in for a season. That was the year after he won the MVP award, when he made more of a concerted effort to be a facilitator, a passer, and all that stuff. And you saw the numbers there. Well, now he's got the outside shooters to certainly bulk up those numbers. But if he can't run the floor consistently, you saw it in the game one there against Boston. He ran the floor twice. You saw it in the preseason against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He ran the floor twice. One really good coast to coast. But if he can't do it at a consistent level, but the numbers look good, that's when you trade him. I'm not opposed to trading Joel Embiid. I'm not opposed to going fully into the flash of what this Sixers team can bring you. And I'm not talking about flash in the pan where they're going to be good for 4 games and then all of a sudden they're going to be terrible the rest of the season. No. I'm talking about what they could give you as a city from this point on. I'm not opposed to trading Bryce Harper. I don't want to. I think the guy's allowed to have a bad year. But when you talk about a guy who is getting up there in age, he has had elbow issues, he did not look locked in really at any point this season. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a guy that's going to be worth $27.5 million until 2028, I believe it is. And then after that, it goes down to the great low price of $22 million. I think Bryce gets a down year. He's a 2-time MVP. He's taking your team to a World Series. This is a much different team. A 260 batting average with a 357 on base percentage and under 30 home runs, and he missed about a month worth of the season. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, you know what? You can have a down year. I think he can get better. I think he can bounce back, but this coming season will be the test. And then that's when you really start talking about whether or not you should trade Bryce Harper. Because I'm also not trading Bryce Harper right now after a 260 batting average season. I want to make sure I can get as much as possible for this guy. But when it comes to Joel Embiid, he is far more likely, not that I think it's likely, but I'm saying more likely, that he would be one that would be to be traded. He's more likely to one to be traded of the two. And you're talking about a hell of a lot of money attached to both these guys. But if you can get Joel Embiid's numbers up, if you continue with the 25 points per game and 25 minutes played, 23 minutes played, whatever, that'll raise some eyebrows around the league. Certainly it'll raise some eyebrows around the league. And also the Sixers would be more motivated to move on to give the team over fully to Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, whenever Jared McCain's healthy and all that. That's the move I think the Sixers have down the line. That is only if things continue as they are right now. If Joel Embiid doesn't show signs of being 100% healthy, if he can't get past 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and all that, then there's not room on a team that's running the court for what Joel Embiid could be giving you this season and what Joel Embiid could be giving you in the very near future, this year and early next year. It's 4 years of a boatload of money. That ain't going to be easy to move. The only way it's possible is if another team thinks they can get something out of him. But as of right now, what I'm watching with the Sixers team, it is too damn good, too much fun to pass up. And when you look at the way the league has trended, you look at what the Pacers were able to do last year, you look at what Oklahoma City was able to do last year, they got guys that obviously can go out there and ball out as guards and be team leaders and be leading scorers. It's not all about the half court. Now, the reason I'll say this, again, this is if things continue on this pace for the rest of the season with the Sixers, yes, I would entertain trading Joel Embiid. But here's why I'm not pushing him out the door saying it's a must move. Later on in the season, assuming things do continue at a better pace for Joel Embiid, and he does continue to look better. His minute restrictions goes up. It was already from 20 to 23. We're talking about 3 games he's played in this season. He's already gone from, 4 points to 20 points to 25 points. The assist numbers, again, you'll go back to. Like, he could be a guy, as I've said before, they could flirt with a triple-double every night on this team. When you get the assist numbers up, obviously rebounds will be there for him and points will be there for him. But you can talk about a guy that could fill out a triple-double almost every night with this team. But if things don't build and he doesn't look stronger, the knee doesn't look stronger, and he can't run the floor, that's where you got to start talking about moving on. But the fact that he's already upped the minutes, the Sixers have already upped his minutes that he's been restricted to from 20 to 23. And that's just 3 games in. And the points have gone up as well. Rebounds have gone up. Assists have gone up. Then I'm interested to see. I don't want to push him out the door just yet. Let's see how he might be able to adapt his game to what this Sixers team is doing. Because the conversation surrounding Joel Embiid and the Sixers right now has been all about, okay, what have you done? What can Joel Embiid do? Or what's this team going to look like when Joel Embiid's back? Are they going to kowtow to him? Or is it going to be the other way around? For the good of the Sixers and the future of the Sixers, it has to be the other way around. It has to be Joel Embiid figuring out how he's going to play with such fast guards. And Joel Embiid try to be dominant in a half-court set, which you are going to need, especially in the latter stages of the season and in the playoffs, that half-court offense. Because the league is going to make an adjustment. This is one of the things they asked me yesterday was, what about, when the league makes the adjustment and all that stuff? And it's like, as I told you guys, I've been telling you guys, the league can make all the adjustments at once, but you can't get faster. Other teams around the league that are built for comfort, not for speed, they're not just going to get faster in transition. So that's where VJ Edgecombe, that's where Tyrese Maxey, that's where it's like, you want to adjust to this? Yeah, okay. Do you have a turbo button? Because we're on turbo all the time. As a matter of fact, our walking speed is your turbo. Our turbo is you're unable to catch up with it. So that's where I'm at when it comes to the idea. I'm not trading Bryce Harper right now. I'm not trading Joel Embiid right now either. There is time here this season for the Sixers. There's time next year and also an opportunity for Bryce Harper to be better than a 260 hitter, to be better than a 357 on base percentage guy, to be better than a 27 home run. The home run, the power numbers for me, honestly, with Bryce Harper don't concern me as much as they concern other people. Talk about missing 4 weeks of a season. Yeah, the numbers ain't going to look so good when it comes to the power numbers. But I still look at a guy that could bounce back next year. And if he doesn't, that's where you start saying, all right, now we really need to change things over. And I know a lot of people look at it with sentimental value. For me, with Bryce Harper, I don't know. I became a sociopath. Feelings don't matter. Emotions don't matter to me. It's all about business, especially with this Phillies team. And it's the same thing with the Sixers, because I've put the Sixers and the Phillies in the same boat for a long time now. But I'm not trading Bryce Harper right now. I'm not trading Joel Embiid right now. But I can understand down the line this really being a real topic. If things don't improve with Joel Embiid for him health-wise, if he doesn't look like he can run the floor, then yeah, it's time to find a way to move on. I don't know how you do it, but I know the best way to do it is he actually puts up some decent numbers like he did with 25 points in 23 minutes. That raises some other people's eyebrows. With Bryce Harper, I'm not trading him after a down year like that. I'm not, especially when I think he's got a better year than the numbers I've already pointed out, twice. He's got a better year than that left in him. I still very much believe that. I think when it comes to overall improvement of the Phillies, that's going to come from a Justin Crawford coming up, not as a savior, but just overall improvement. Justin Crawford coming up, hopefully re-signing Harrison Bader. You have that as your outfield going forward. Nick Castellanos is gone while bringing you back something in return. I also think it's got to come from pop from Alec Boehm at third base. He had a rough start of the season, obviously, with injuries and all that. I think you got to see him come out and hit with some pop. Trey Turner, I don't want to see hit with pop. I want to see him do exactly what he did last year, minus any hamstring injury or anything like that. Bryson Stott, if they could upgrade second base, I'm all for upgrading second base. Bryson Stott's got to be better than what we have seen over the last 2 seasons now from him. He turned it on in the second half of the year, which was great. You got a gold glove caliber first baseman, defensively speaking, with Bryce Harper. That's something that you can certainly say is great that he does. And JT, I'd like to see back on a short deal. I'd love to see back on a short deal. But I believe some of the resurgence from this Phillies team is going to come from the rotation rounding out. Whenever you get Zach Wheeler back, whenever Andrew Painter can give you in the beginning portion of the season, if you start in the minor leagues before he comes up to the big leagues, okay. And also, like I mentioned, Justin Crawford as most likely your right fielder. Marsh can play anywhere as well. Maybe you have Crawford over and left. But if you got an outfield like that, I'm feeling pretty good about what they gave you last year and what they could give you going forward. That's where I think the difference comes from this Phillies team this past season to the upcoming season. I don't think it's going to come from some kind of sweeping, incredible trade from Bryce Harper. I will tell you one thing, how I think this ends with Bryce Harper. this year at least, I think it ends in a financial apology. If I have to fast forward, I think Bryce Harper, there's already rumblings of Bryce Harper wanting that new contract. I mean, more than rumblings. We know he wants a new deal. He wanted a new deal. This could be the way he gets to that new deal. What'd you say about me? I'm offended. Give me money. What's the line from Parks and Rec? Money, please. Money, please. That was I love that show. So Ron Swanson's one of my all-time favorite characters. All right, let's get to your boy. Let's get to our boy. Let's get to our man Pots and Pans. Let's get to Jalen Hurts. And then, by the way, I didn't even mention it. Flyers won again last night. 4-1 over the Nashville Predators. That Trevor Zegras guy. I'm going to warn you right now. I'm about to play a Jalen Hurts clip. A little bit later on, I'm going to play a Trevor Zegras clip. What? Yeah, that's right. A Flyers clip is happening. Flyers playing the way they're playing now. Got to give them some love. Got to give them some respect. Because I've told you guys, this is a great investment year for the Flyers, for Flyers fans, to get back into the Flyers. I wasn't expecting a lot from this year. So far, they're exceeding my expectations. So I have to acknowledge. This is something with Jalen Hurts that I want you to hear again. If you didn't hear it after their win over the Giants, I want you to hear it again. But before I get there, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Patrick Mahomes. These were the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, as listed by Dan Orlovsky of ESPN yesterday. I say this every time. I like Dan a lot. I consider Dan a friend of mine. Got to know him back in our NBC Sports Philly days. And this is a good list. Drake May for New England has been putting up 140 passer ratings for them. They won 5 in a row. They're having a great season. Hard to argue. Daniel Jones, Shane Steichens cracked the code with Daniel Jones. Yes, Jonathan Taylor might be the MVP of the NFL with Daniel Jones right behind him. But yeah, he's been playing some great football. Baker Mayfield, he's been great. I love all the shine that Baker Mayfield's been getting ever since he left Cleveland. And I also find him to be very entertaining. And I still am shocked that he doesn't start every press conference with, hey, what'd the Browns do today? Patrick Mahomes is my number one. So what are we even doing? And Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say this. I acknowledge that all these guys are having great years. Stafford has like 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, something like that. Hurts is at 15 touchdowns and 1 interception. I understand these guys are all having great years. These are the best quarterbacks right now. Jalen Hurts, and I hate this stat, but I know people use it, perfect passer rating. I've always hated that. I know you can have a perfect passer rating. To refer to it as a perfect game, I just hate that. But that's what it is. 158 passer rating against Minnesota. 145, I believe it was there against the Giants. Okay. 7 touchdown passes in 2 games. And not a top 5 guy? Really? And then I think, is it because they played the Giants that they just graded on a curve? Maybe. But when you get blown out the first time you played the Giants, and then you spin it around to be incredible the second time against the Giants, I think you've righted it wrong a bit, especially if this is the key phrase is right now. The old Doug Peterson, right now? Right now, Sam Bradford's our starting quarterback. Right now? Right now, best quarterbacks. To me, if you have Patrick Mahomes on this list, well, yeah, I would say so. He's had multiple MVPs, multiple Super Bowl championships. Yeah, it's really hard to say he's not number one. But then for me, I look, all due respect to Drake May. Phenomenal season he's having. Matthew Stafford's great, Hall of Famer. Mac Jones. Daniel Jones, playing phenomenal. And Baker Mayfield, love him. Only one guy on that list I'm taking over Jalen Hurts. Only one guy on that list. Battle-tested. Coming off a Super Bowl MVP run. One guy. And that guy is Jalen Hurts. Still, for me, for winning football games, which is the goal, or as some might say, the main thing, that's the one guy I'm taking over Jalen Hurts on this. It's not Drake May. It's not Matthew Stafford. It's not Daniel Jones. It's not Baker Mayfield. It's not Justin Herbert to keep going down the line. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's the only guy. Why? I was out. What did I do? I took the kids out. We were at Peddler's Village. You know Peddler's Village? Yeah, well, I really took the missus there for her birthday, but we brought the kids and they hated it. But anyway, the missus loved it. But they wanted to ride the carousel and all that stuff. And while the kids are on the carousel with mom, I'm standing there watching. The gentleman comes up to me. He's just like, why do people, he literally says to me, he goes, why do people hate Jalen Hurts? I'm like, I that's a code that nobody can crack. The best thing I got is second round bias. Second round bias, that's the best I got. Another guy came up to me and was just like, why do they make this difficult with Jalen? I go, I don't know. I think it's because he doesn't put up gaudy numbers. No, the passer rating is pretty damn good. Last year, it would match his career high, as a matter of fact. But in terms of throwing for 3,500 yards, 3,000 yards, 30 touchdown passes, and all that, why are we making this so difficult? The guy goes to the Super Bowl twice. Guy wins the Super Bowl trophy. Guy wins the Lombardi trophy. He wins the MVP. And now this year, he's still balling out. And here's the best part about it. There's only been 2 games so far. And this would go probably more to the list. There's only 2 games so far this season that he's played a full, I'll say, 4 quarters. He's been this good, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception, while playing great football for only 2 quarters. Now, the other 2 quarters, certainly he could be better. The offensive line could be better. They could establish a run game. That'd be nice. But they appear to not be able to do that until this game here against the Giants. Defense has missed some tackles. Defense has also won some of these games. Special teams has won some of these games as well. But when Jalen Hurts said this, here's how he answered the question. This is what I truly believe going with the last 2 games going into the bye week. If you were looking for some optimism for this team, by the way, they're 6-2. So hopefully it shouldn't be that hard to find optimism. But if you're looking for optimism as to how or why they could beat the Packers, as to how or why they could beat the Lions, look no further than Jalen Hurts.
The QB rating last week, after a perfect rating last week, you have 4 touchdowns today. That matches a career high. Are you heating up? Are you playing your best ball? How would you explain that?
I definitely got a lot of work to do. I think the best is yet to come.
141.5 passer rating last week. 158.3 passer rating the previous week against the Vikings, and the best is yet to come. And again, 7 touchdown passes, no interceptions over the last 2 games, 15 touchdown passes, 1 interception for the season. And the best is yet to come. I would certainly hope so. Now, the Eagles have been playing great football for the last 2 weeks after dropping back-to-back games. They found ways to win for their previous wins on the season. Unfortunately, couldn't figure out a way to beat the Giants the first time around. Unfortunately, couldn't find a way to hold off the Denver Broncos, and they had a collapse there in the fourth quarter. Really, second half, not including the Saquon Barkley wheel route. And the best is yet to come. So you look at the bye week and you say, all right, the Eagles are playing some pretty damn good football. They're putting things together. They're hitting a stride. Do you want to interrupt that and risk losing that momentum and putting a hitch in that giddy up? Or do you just put it in the bank and say they're going to be able to pick up where they left off talent-wise, flow-wise, momentum-wise, and they're going to be healthier when they come back? And not only that, you're also talking about hopefully curing any ailments of your secondary with less Keely Ringo, less Adoree Jackson, maybe a touch more of Ja'Cory Bennett if he's healthy after the bye week, and also adding a piece to the puzzle in Michael Carter II. Now, we talked yesterday about his slot. Well, Reuben Frank of NBC Sports Philadelphia put it best. I talked about how he's an experienced nickel corner. Do I still have this? I should still have this. I don't know why I wouldn't have this. Here you go. So, Michael Carter II for the New York Jets. 2,212 nickel snaps. 2,212 nickel snaps in his time with the Jets. 2,212. Outside snaps. 46. 2,200 to 46. Okay? Yeah. I think this means Cooper DeJean is a full-time outside corner. And I let you guys hear yesterday, twice this week, I let you guys hear from Vic Fangio talking about the versatility of Cooper DeJean and how you can basically ask him to do anything and he could do it. What I always call a whatever athlete. I need you to play this position you never played before. Whatever. I need you to play this other position you never played. Whatever. The aforementioned Bryce Harper, I think, has this in his mind. First base? Yeah, sure, no problem. Gold glove caliber. Never played it before? Never. Okay, cool. Whatever. Cooper DeJean has that in his head, too. Nickel, got it. Outside, got it. A little smattering of safety, even though we really haven't seen it. Yeah, a little smattering. Let's do it. I think you can put him in as a running back, not that I want to. And you could get a 60-yard run from him. Like, I think that, actually, let's get creative there, Kevin Patullo. Just kidding. He's Vic Fangio's guy. I think this is, without question, it gives the Eagles two options here. Let me use the Sam Hinkie-ism. It gives the Eagles great optionality. The obvious move is that they can move them to the outside corner a full time. And then you have another experienced corner in at nickel, and he's good to go at that position. Then it also means if it's a late in the game, like the way a rookie Drew Makuba has been playing, maybe he hits a rookie wall, Cooper DeJean goes back there, and he's the deepest man on the field. Vic Fangio has talked about it quite a bit. Last year, training camp this year, through this season, hasn't gotten a lot of looks there, but he can do it because he's a whatever athlete. Yeah, I can do it, whatever. No big deal. Nothing phases him. Just calm the entire time, cool, never panicking, just ready to make a play. That's all he wants to do. So make no mistake about it. I know the Eagles aren't going to say what they're going to do when Vic Fangio addresses the media next week. I think he addresses the media next week, yeah. He's not going to come out and say, oh, yeah, well, Coop's going to be on the outside. He's our outside corner. I'd be surprised if he just lays it out like that. Yeah, we got to see how Michael Carter II, we got to see how Michael does this, and we got to see how he digests the playbook and the feel he has for his teammates around him and see how the communication is, because that's going to be key. I don't think they're going to come out and say it, but I think Cooper DeJean's going to be out here doing his thing on the outside, and that's going to be his new spot. And I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. I'm fine with it. I wonder what, because I would imagine this snap count isn't going to skyrocket from what we saw last year, or excuse me, what we've seen so far this year from him to what we could see for the rest of the season. Yeah, it's what I thought. 98% of the snaps. So last year he played 63% of the defensive snaps. 63%. This year he's played 98% of the snaps. So really this is more about the snap count of Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, Ja'Cory Bennett going forward. That's what it's really about. And you know what? Mac McWilliams got some run there at the end of the Giants game. Mac McWilliams got run. Marcus Epps got run at safety. Ty Robinson got run on the defensive line. There you go. Yeah, I would like I thought. I wouldn't imagine that Cooper DeJean, somebody's going to play 99, 100% of the snaps from this point on. The goal was going into the season to make sure he plays more. Check that box from 63% of the snaps to 98. Not too shabby. So I'm feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty good. I know it's a tough schedule in the second half of the season as well. Fortunately for me, I look at it with you got the second greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. You have a run game that has some momentum. You'll be healthier after the bye week, and you'll be going up against a hell of a test in the Green Bay Packers, who know how to control the run game, that's for sure. Before I go any further, let me tell you what's a lot of fun here. You ready for this? The Philadelphia Flyers. Last night, they get the 4-1 victory over the Nashville Predators. Trevor Zegras, 2 goals on the night, an assist on the night. In 10 games now for the Flyers, it's 4 goals, 8 assists. Don't worry, I'll do the math. That's 12 points, and that's 10 games for the 6-3-1 Philadelphia Flyers. That's a lot of fun. And after the game, courtesy NBC Sports Philadelphia, Brian Boucher asked Trevor Zegras about playing in Philadelphia. He goes from Anaheim, where he was for 4 or 5 years, to Philadelphia. And the 24-year-old seems to be enjoying his time in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say over the summer, I definitely changed a bunch of things, and my mindset heading into the season and the games. And you come to a sports town like Philadelphia, you don't want to embarrass yourself. And
remember Jason Kelsey about 2 months ago, maybe? He was like, yeah, the media really, it holds you accountable in Philadelphia. You want to play well in Philadelphia. It's a motivating factor. I'm not saying it's all you need, but it helps from time to time. You'll read something, you'll hear something, social media, and it'll give you a kick in the butt. I'll use the words of my friend Mike Sealski. You're welcome. No. But Trevor Zegras doesn't want to embarrass himself in front of Philadelphia. I remember talking to some Flyers a while back. And this was, I want to say 2007. Yes, so a while back. And wow, 20 years ago. Damn. Almost 20 years ago. And they just had this mentality of, they're going to be honest tonight, guys. Or, sorry, they're Canadian. They're going to be honest today, boys. And the fans are going to be honest. They're going to kill us if we don't do this, if we don't do that. We got to go out there. We've really been playing bad. We got to, it was truly a motivating thing for them. How the most hostile fans in the NHL, as the vote went, most intimidating another year, I think they got called. It was for their own team. I mean, sure, it was for the other team, too. It was the visiting team. But for their own team, they were a kick in the butt. So I love the idea of a guy like Zegras coming here from Anaheim and being like, yeah, you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of these guys. And then he did go on to say, you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of the teammates. You want to play well for them also. But this is, you talk about the change of the guard that's going on right now with the Sixers, and it feels like that's happening right now with the Flyers. They lose their captain last night in the game in Sean Couturier. Coots goes out early. Don't know how long he'll be out. And they net 4 goals. And Vladar was in net last night. 32 saves, I think he made. So he had himself a night as well. This is going to be a fun year with the Flyers. I think it'll be more promising for what the outcome could be with the Sixers. But in hockey, you never know what team's going to catch lightning in a bottle. You go to the Blues a couple years back. They were just a terrible team. Then they went on a huge run, ended up winning the Stanley Cup. There's teams like that just catch lightning in a bottle. And this is without the Flyers spending money on players on their team right now. They're spending money on players not on their team right now. Next year, they open up a lot of cap, and that's where you could be looking to spend even some more moolah. So look forward to that. Yep, that's what I got for you. Let me tell you about the great people at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Game Time app has you covered. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get into the chat. Check and see how wonderful people are doing on this fine Friday. Happy Halloween. Oh, before I go any further here, in the Philadelphia area, we're supposed to have like crazy mile per hour winds. So might need, as Seinfeld would say, Superman, but it's a little cold out here, so I have my winter coat on today. So it might be a lot of K-pop demon hunters that look a little chilly. Put the jacket on. I'm roomy, but it's really cold. By the way, if you haven't been listening to K-pop demon hunters, man, you don't know how to party, okay? Because it's literally been nonstop in my house, in the car, like for months. Okay, help me. I'm blinking Morse code. Help me. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be windy today. Leave me alone. That's great. I'll do my best. Welcome. Hello. Good morning. Sean, hello. Sean Kilran, hello. Wayne the Pain, good morning. Miss me. Okay. Sean Gillespie, good morning. Wayne the Pain Farzi, what percentage number would you give to this notion that Howie pulls off a trade for Myles Garrett? What percentage for Myles Garrett? I'm going to say 8%. I'm going to say 8%. Yeah, it's not high. I don't think that one's going down. But I will say also, I don't think Brandon Graham's going to be it as far as edge rushers. I don't think it's Trey Hendrickson. I don't think it's Myles Garrett. I don't know the name, but I'm going to assume it's going to be somewhat of an upgrade than what you have right now, which isn't much, unfortunately. And also, let's be real. This hasn't been a good year for Howie Roseman. This season hasn't been good. All right. Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, womp, womp. You had to go get Ja'Cory Bennett and actually trade a defensive tackle in Thomas Booker, who's pretty good at football. You give away Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and you get back Kenyon Green, who, who? Huh? What? You let Fred Johnson walk only to bring him back. Hasn't been a great year for Howie. Hasn't been a great year. He's great. He's still great. Just hasn't been a great year. Remember Dan Orlovsky's wife is an Eagles fan. I do remember that, Lee Milone. I do remember that. I met her at Eagles training camp a couple of years back, and I was talking with Dan. He's like, oh, by the way, this is my wife. And she comes over, and she's like, oh, Mark. Like, I had never met her before. But it turns out I went to high school, and I believe I was in homeroom with, like, her best friend. So it is a small world because he's from the area. So how about that? Phillies, the Archbishop Wood proud. Sean Gillespie, Phillies need to be upset about their postseason performance for past 3 years. I would hope so. I would hope so. Thomas Farzetta, what's up, cousin? Happy Halloween. Who'd win a costume contest? Vic Fangio is Uncle Junior. His Uncle Junior is Vic Fangio. This is a great one. Thank you. And yes, he's my cousin, but I could say it. That's a great one. That's a great one. Even if we weren't blood related, I would say it's still great. But that is great. Tommy, way to go, bud. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Who would win? Who would want Embiid, though? Right? That is a problem. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Let me answer this. Vic Fangio is Uncle Junior, or Uncle Junior is Vic Fangio? I mean, what's his name? Dominic Chianese? That played Uncle Junior? He's an actor, so I feel like he could pull off Vic Fangio. I would say Chianese. I think he would. I think he'd be the better one playing the other, just because of the acting chops. I'm trying to think if there's another Sopranos character that Vic Fangio could fit into. While I think about that, enjoy this. For the people on the podcast, that was just Vic Fangio making meatballs in the kitchen. No, I think you nailed it. Cousin. I think you nailed it. Where's the other thing with the thing and the thing? There it is. Jason A., happy Halloween. Sean Gillespie, let's go back to this. Who would want Embiid, though? Another team, if the Sixers eat a lot of money and he's averaging 25 points per game, but you know he can give you nothing on the defensive end of things. Anybody looking to get to the... It's funny. It's one fell swoop, and it's like you don't have to worry about the cap if you're trying to tank. That's another thing. You could totally hinky it. We're paying Joel Embiid. We're trying to win. He's just not healthy. There we go. Sean Gillespie wants to answer that. Fangio is Uncle Junior for the win. I need this. There you go. Sean Cohen, only pitchers in history to strike out each batter in the other team's starting lineup in one World Series game. Bob Gibson, Randy Johnson, and Trey, your Savage there of the Blue Jays. How about him? Philly area kid. Good for the local kid, Farzetta. Exactly, Sean. That is awesome. Chick-fil-A has turned this team around. Painter should be up next year also, and Wheels hopefully healthy. I agree. Jason A, we will see. I don't know if Harper deserves more honesty. Or more honestly. If he did, wait, let me try that again. We will see. I don't know if Harper deserves more, honestly. I agree. I don't think he does deserve more. But I think there could be a financial apology at the end of this. Time to get on the Zegers train? Hell yeah, Wayne DePayne. Flyers are awesome now. Vladar needs to start in goal every night. I think he's an everyday guy. Tyvita! What's up, Tyvita? Jalen Hurts versus the Giants. Yeah, those are pretty good numbers there. People saying hi to Tyvita. And people still hating on Hurts. Stars don't lie, Farzy. I concur. Stats don't lie, I think you mean. Yeah, you go. Philly Union plays second playoff game tomorrow. Another question I got asked yesterday that I didn't even think about was like, what would it take for more people to be interested in the Union? And here's what I've realized: the greatest advertisement the Union could get is a championship. Because I mean, they've been to the promised land, they just haven't won it. They went with a new coach after firing Jim Curtin, who I just loved, great dude, and at least made people talk about the Union, like to the point where I'm even saying this now. But I feel like the greatest advertisement they could get is winning a championship. Not just for, oh, they're in the championship, I'll watch that game. But also, oh, they won a champion. Oh, they're the champions. Let me bring my kid down to the game, that kind of thing. Let's turn on the TV and watch. Right. Flyers 6-3-1 and play Sunday night. There you go. Philadelphia Wings season starts December 13th. Let's go. Let's go. More smattering, please, or cowbell. There you go. I do love the idea of having a cowbell in the Eagles locker room. I think that's great. Zegers, 12 points, 10 games. Hells yeah. A solid 8. Nice. Fred, you don't blame on Howie. He wanted to go elsewhere. Well, give the man some money. You're already losing Mekhi Becton. You know what I mean? Oh, man. My 7th grader just grew out of K-pop. Thank goodness. I feel your pain. Here's the thing that I never would have thought of before I became a parent. You drop your kids off at school, drop them off at preschool, whatever, and the music is playing in the car still, and you don't notice. And you realize you're listening to Soda Pop for the billionth time, but now you're doing it on your own. Or you're listening to the Snow White soundtrack, but you're doing it on your own. Or you're listening to what was the one she was into forever? Madonna Me. What was it? It wasn't Moana. Yeah, it might have been Moana. Yeah, it was Moana. And I was just driving down the street listening to Dwayne Johnson say you're welcome. Help me. Not sure about Uncle Junior, but I do like me some Uncle Fester, especially today's team. There you go. K-pop, there you go. Danny, hi. What's up, Danny? Sean Gillespie. K-pop, so glad I don't have kids. The K-pop is hilarious, right? Farzi, what NFL games are you most intrigued by this week with the Eagles being on the bye week? That's a great question. I haven't even looked at the schedule this week, to be honest with you. I'll give it a quick glance and see what's what. It was fun to watch Lamar last night. I'll tell you that. Vikings at Detroit for a 1:00 game. That should be fun. Green Bay's got the Panthers. Washington has Seattle at home. This is not really a great week. Dallas and Arizona on Monday night. Hopefully Dallas loses that one. Dallas is home. I want to see Minnesota beat Detroit, I guess, but then, they'll be on the – well, no, because it's not the next week. It's 2 weeks. Yeah. I want to watch Detroit lose, but that's going to be a tall order for Minnesota. Detroit's a almost 10-point favorite. Houston's a 1.5-point favorite at home against the Broncos. That's something. Rams, maybe they just run it up at home against New Orleans. Yeah. Oh, Buffalo and Kansas City, CBS. There you go. That's the national game. 4:25. Yeah, Buffalo and Kansas City. There you go. That's a definite. Glossed right over that because I saw Washington. And Miss Scuzzi. Better than Baby Shark? Let me tell you something about Baby Shark. Anything is better than Baby Shark. Baby Shark is the stuff that you play like in a hostage situation where you're trying to Pauly Shore biodome it. Do you have that on your bingo card today? That's what you're trying to do. You can dance if you want to. You can want down behind. That's down behind. You can dance. But that's not Baby Shark. But you get what I'm saying. Farzy, be glad you missed SpongeBob era with the kids. That voice on 12th hour. I did. Where was I at? I was at a Soul game many years ago, and they played SpongeBob SquarePants, I believe it was. And I didn't know what SpongeBob This was a long time ago. I didn't know what SpongeBob SquarePants was, but every kid in the building. No, it wasn't. It was a Phantoms game, and every kid in the stands started singing it, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I did a Soul game many years later with Baby Shark, and they started playing Baby Shark, and every kid in the building started singing. And I was like, "What? Am I in a cult? What's going on here?" There you go. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Kids are feeling better, thanks to those that have asked about strep and all that. They were both home yesterday all day. If you listen to any of my other shows besides this one, then you might have heard screaming kids in the background. But, yeah, there you go. There you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Have a great Halloween. I hope all the kids have a great time out there in their costumes and all that. For all of those that enjoy Halloween, enjoy Halloween. I say I enjoy it sometimes. Sixers play tonight. Boston Celtics. Does not look like Paul George is going to play. Obviously, Don Barlow is not going to play. Jared McCain's not going to play. The Sixers did pick up Jared McCain's option, so that's nice. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Happy Halloween, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. Like and subscribe to The Farzy Show. Back with you guys Monday for The Farzy Show. See you guys then.